Oh yeah, check that out. I don't know if you already know what that is if you're reading this 3 awesome looking letters, but this is a Springfield XDs, the compact 45. And I mean, this puppy is amazing. So I haven't shot it yet. That's part of the deal. Is I had to buy this because of the background check and everything, but my lady basically gave me the gift card to do it because it was a gift, and this was, I mean, I'm still a little dumbfounded by this. I've actually been looking at this thing for about 5 days, and this is now I get to do a video on it. But back to what I was saying is I haven't shot it yet, and the reason why is because part of the deal of me getting this was I can't shoot it till Christmas because it's my Christmas present. But I just felt like we kind of went round and round. I mean, even though my lady, she's good to me, we don't always see eye to eye. As you know, she wants to wrap it and put it under the tree, and I just don't want to put a gun under my tree. But I did agree that we'd wrap this puppy up like the day before Christmas and have it underneath there for me to wrap it or unwrap it. And just for all you guys, there's concerns. It won't be loaded, and there'll be no ammunition in the box or anything like that. And there are no small children where we'll be for Christmas, and it's at one of our houses. So Sarah and I neither have children, so it should be fairly safe. But let's get back to it. Let's talk about the first impressions of the gun. I've been doing a little bit of research about it, and you know, I just wanted to kind of show you what's going on. It does come with what they call the range kit, or at least that's what a lot of people refer to this as. Is Springfield gives you a little range kit with your purchase, especially with the XD series, like the XDMs and the XDS. So you open this puppy up. It's a nice little kind of Pelican style case. It's lipped. It does have a lip, but there is no actual rubber gasket inside the top lid. So it's not like a floating case or anything like that, but it's still a really nice heavy duty case. So obviously it comes with the XDS and a lock. It does come with 2 stainless steel single stack magazines, a paddle holster, and a 2 magazine holster, and then a back extension, because the back of the magazine is you can actually change out the extensions and get a fatter grip or a thinner grip if you needed. What it comes with actually is really comfortable to me, but I might put this on here when I go out and shoot it one day and just give it a whirl and see if it actually improves the feeling of the gun for me. Other than that, I know she has the once fired cartridge, so we know that this puppy shoots. You know, this puppy was I don't know, shot by CVITAKM. You know, these guns are made in Croatia, so you know those Croatians, or however you say it, they're mean shooters. So, and then in the top of the case right here, it comes with the XDS noticeably unnoticeable, and it talks about its main features and everything, which we'll cover. It's got ourselves a XD and XDM, XDMS or XDS gear. Talks about instructions, Youth Handgun Safety Act notice, and then the manual talks about, you know, takedown, gives you some parts listings and things like that. So that's the main stuff in there. And that little foam area right here just kind of holds that puppy in place. It's pretty sweet looking. So so here she is. She's obviously unloaded and everything. I mean, it's got a good feel to it, and so let me get the little safety pluggy doodad out of there. So here she's already. I mean, you can see it's already a small gun. I mean, that's a 45 ACP, dude. That thing will knock the crap out of you right there. And I am just super excited about this gun. She has steel dovetail sights in the back and then a fiber optic in the front, which is kind of cool. Is they give you a replacement, so you can do either orange, which is already has it, or you can actually switch over to green if you wanted, which is right here. If you can see green in there. So there's the green fiber optic, which is kind of cool. So now I'm gonna do something that some people might sneer at or dislike or make fun of me, because I'm gonna do something that no one in their right mind would even say or even utter. But I'm gonna do a comparison with the LC9 and the XDS. This is my LC9. She is loaded, but I will unload her right now just so we're all like kosher about this. So I'm gonna basically drop my mag. Boom, right there. There's my hollow point Fiocchi's. And so there's my spare. Boop, my one in the chamber. So she is clear. Basically, you can even see that the loaded one up is down. So there we go. She's good to go. So let's do a little breakdown of these two suckers, and I hope my camera can see these. So we'll basically put you right there and you right there. So obviously the XDS is a 45 ACP, and ACP stands for automatic Colt pistol, and the LC9 is a 9mm. Now both the calibers are day and night. We're talking about like twice the juice on an ACP versus a 9mm. So this is the exciting part about my comparison, is the LC9 was the most compact, largest caliber that I could get in the smallest handgun, in my opinion, that was well priced, because obviously I'm not made of money. I can't afford to spend $700 on a gun. So for my budget and my reliability and like preferences, the LC9 was the largest caliber I could get that I could carry comfortably for a semi-automatic handgun. Now switching over to the XDS, it is a very similar in size and dimensions of the LC9, and we'll go over this right now. So as in with the magazines, the LC9 is a 7+1 in the chamber. So you got 7 in the mag and 1 in the pipe. So you got a total of 8. Now the 45, it is a 5 in the mag and 1 in the pipe. So there's a 6 total. So we're missing 2 rounds versus the 9mm. That's okay, because I figure if you shoot at something 5 or 6 times and you need to reload, you probably shouldn't be shooting at them. Especially at least here. Now if you were off in some war zone or something, that's a different story. But, you know, I'm just saying, theoretically, you can agree or disagree with me on that if you'd like. Now, we'll talk about weight. So the XDS is 21.5 ounces, and the LC9 is 17.1 ounces. So we're talking 4.4 ounce difference. And these are unloaded weights. So the XDS is obviously just a little bit heavier, but not much. I mean, not big enough to really blow you out of the water. They have the XDS is what they call a melanite barrel, and I tried to do a little bit of research on the melanite, and I didn't really find much on it, what it is, or I think the melanite is actually the coating on the barrel, which is, I'm assuming it's an alloy steel of some sort, but the LC9 has an alloy steel barrel. And now the sights on the XDS, this is where the XDS sights I think are a little bit nicer than the LC9, is that the XDS has a steel dovetail rear and a fiber optic front, and they're called snag free. Now they're not adjustable per se. You can probably tap them just a teeny bit, but they're not adjustable per se. So you got your 2 white dot system and your fiber optic single in the front. So that's the sight. The thing about the snag free that I really kind of was noticing is, like, if you look at the sight, the rear sights, let's see if this will focus in. This will get a little bit nicer focus for us. Is if you look on that dovetail right there, it actually kind of it contours to the back of the action. So this dovetail is completely smooth with the back of the action, which is really nice. And then they're all rounded edges. All these have rounded edges. You can see that technically that edge right there is flattened out and everything. And the front sight, and this camera is a terrible camera, just so you know. The front sight, if you look at it, the dovetail of the sight is completely flush with the action, or the top of the receiver or whatever. So that you know, that's like, there's very little to be snagged on. So it's holster friendly is what they say, holster friendly. So I was hoping that would focus in for us. So there's the focus. That's what it would look like. Nice and sweet and beautiful like that. So that's that. Now, one thing about the LC9 that it does have that the XDS has, it actually does have a true adjustable rear iron sight with the whole white dots. They call it the 3-dot system, with windage adjustable rear sight and a fixed front sight. So there's kind of the differences in the sights of the two handguns. The barrel length in the XDS is a 3.3 inch, and the LC9 is a 3.12 inch barrel. So the XDS has a little bit longer barrel, which is actually kind of good. I think works really well for the larger caliber, obviously. And then the slide material of the XDS is forged steel with a melanite finish, and that's where I'm kind of thinking the barrel of the XDS is alloy steel of some sort with a melanite finish, which is supposed to protect it from corrosion and wear and tear and things like that. The slide of the LC9 is what they call a through hardened alloyed steel, and it's blued. So it's a blued receiver, or blued slide. So now this is where we're going to really break it down, where I'm kind of super excited, because it's not really changing too much for me on my personal carry preferences. We're going to talk about the overall size of the two guns. So the overall length of the XDS is 6.3 inches, which is basically 6 3/10 of an inch. And the LC9 is 6 inches. So it's just a hair longer than the XDS is just a hair longer than the LC9. And the height of the XDS is 4.4 inches, which is 4 2/5 of an inch. And the LC9 is 4.5 inches, basically 4.5 inches in height. And this is including the magazine in the gun. Now, this is where it gets kind of interesting that I really like, is the width of the two guns. The XDS is 1 inch wide, and the LC9 is 0.9 inches wide, which is 9/10. Which, if you compare these two bad boys side by side, you really can't tell the difference. You know? I don't know if you can tell the difference or not. It's not a huge difference. But if you hold the LC9 over the XDS and put them barrel to barrel, like that, look at that. They're almost the same size. I mean, we're talking just like, we're splitting hairs, man, on like saying one's bigger than the other. Because obviously the XDS is bigger, but not by much. Not by much at all, which is really exciting for me, because it's nicer to have a little bit bigger caliber. Everybody kind of knocks on the 9mm, and I'm a 9mm guy. I think any gun is better than no gun. Even if you had a 22, it's still a dangerous gun. I mean, I just did a video on me shooting cast iron pans at 30 yards, and my 22 long rifle is blowing holes through cast iron pans. The only reason why one pan didn't get holes blown through it is because it was almost a 1/2 inch thick, because it was one of these giant hamburger type style pans. But the other ones were just regular cast iron pans, and it just blew holes through them, and it was cheap ammo, just hollow point ammo. So let's get back to what I was talking about, because I'm getting on to here about, I don't know, probably about 15 minutes or something. I don't know, 13 minutes. we'll talk about the safety features real quick. The XDS has a couple really cool safety features, which I don't know, a lot of people don't like safety, but I don't know, this gun's pretty idiot proof, where as long as you got your hand and you're gripping it, it's gonna fire. It doesn't have a manual safety like the LC9 does. The LC9 actually has a slide keep where you rock that puppy up, it actually locks the slide in place, and then also puts a pin in the action so the hammer and the trigger will not move. The XDS has a grip safety and a trigger safety. So you have to have your hand placed on the grip. So you have to be able to place your hand on the grip, activate the grip safety, and then it actually has the what kind of safety is that called? It's called the, I don't know, I can't, it's a safety trigger. Basically you have to have this little puppy right here pushed in before that trigger will actually activate, so that will move. So we're also talking basically a fully double action. Even when you rack that slide back, this is still a double action. That trigger, when you pull that trigger, it has a long travel, which actually activates the hammer and sear, so it's a true double action. The XDS is a single action. You rack it, and then the trigger will set to a single action pull, and then that gives you what they call a short trigger, a short reset trigger too, which is kind of nice. The reset's very short for the gun. One thing that is kind of cool about it as well is the fail-safe safety, is what they call it, the fail-safe safety system. And it's just, this is just kind of random information about it that I thought was interesting to me, is when you disassemble the XDS and you take the disassembly lever and put it in the up position, it actually will not go up if there's a magazine in the gun. So in order to disassemble the gun, the magazine has to be out of it, which all the XDs are that way. Now the kind of the interesting thing about it too is when the disassembly lever is in the up position, a magazine can't actually be inserted in the gun either. So even if you like had the slide part apart and somebody wasn't paying attention, or you forgot to put the disassembly lever back down so you didn't like blow the slide to pieces, I don't even know if that happens or not, a magazine can actually be locked in place, so you can't rack around into the chamber. Now this is a few things where I think it's kind of interesting that it will surpass the LC9. Is there's a few things about it. Is this actually has a Picatinny rail on it, which I will never use. I don't ever put lights or lasers on my gun. Look at that thing. You could drive a Rolls like a bus down that barrel. That thing's huge. So you could put a light or a laser on that puppy if you want to get a little fancy. I'm not really into that. This is the back extension area. This is replaceable. And the grip is a polymer frame versus the LC9 is a glass-filled nylon frame. I think that's what it's called, glass-filled nylon frame. So, and I think there's a difference between the two. So, yeah, I mean, there's no adjustable parts on the gun. They make grips and things that you can like adhere to the LC9s, but the LC9s are pretty much stuck the way they are. There's not a lot you can do other than like there is adjustable sights. You can put different sights on them if you wanted. But yeah, so that's the first look at my XDS, which I'm super excited. I'm already in the process of having Ed make me his tracker leather in the waistband holster, because of course I'm gonna have a IWB for my XDS, which I'm super excited about. Until then, I was kind of a bad boy, and I spent a little bit of money. I bought two different holsters. I bought basically a Galco in the pant guy little leather holster that was actually meant for a H&K USP compact, but it actually the XDS fits in it just fine. The trigger's hidden away in there really well, and it rides in my pants. Rides in my pants a little high, which I think it would have done with the other gun anyways. And then I got myself, obviously I've done a few videos on these, the inside the pant holster by Uncle Mike's. This is a size 15, which is gigantic, but it sets the gun real low down in my pant line, which I feel is more comfortable, but it is a pain in the butt to draw. Like I literally have to like reach my thumb down past my underwear line and like hook the grip of the gun and like pinch it up out of the pants and then kind of reset my hand onto the grip, which is kind of a pain in the butt. I have talked to a few police officers that are friends of mine that do undercover work, and their backup guns are in the waistband holsters in their waistbands, but they have them really low, and they said that's very common, is to have to pinch the gun to remove it. So it wouldn't be a very good gun for like a tooler drill or being like a 21-foot drill or anything. This would be more for a purpose like if you already knew you needed to draw your gun before you approach the situation where you would need your firearm. It wouldn't be like a quick draw situation. With the Galco, it rides a lot higher, and I was fooling around with it, just kind of practicing drawing it, and the Galco actually sits really nice on my waistline, and I'm able to draw out of it really quick. And the gun, I think over time the gun will wear through this a little bit, and it'll stretch it out, and it'll draw even better. But I'm definitely gonna have go pick up my IWB from Ed, because there's like nothing better than these handmade holsters. And like, if you guys are interested in handmade holsters and you got to pay good money for them, check out my IWB tracker leather videos, and I'll post some information down below about them, just in case if you're new to my channel. But I mean, this holster it's a primo holster. And I mean, I've had this holster for a little over almost a year now. No, I'm not sure, because I've had it for a while, but the gun is like pretty much broken in. I mean, it just slides right in, but it doesn't go anywhere, like won't fall out. But you could just pull on it, boom, there it is. You don't have to fight it or anything. Putting it in the holster, it's just broken enough where it used to be I'd have to put my thumb on the slide so I could push it in there and make sure it doesn't, rack the slide back. But it does now. It just slides right in and just stays there. So, yep. Oh, and one more thing. So I normally do Federal Hydra shocks in most of my carry guns, but I've decided to give the Hornady Critical Defense a little try in this XDS, and they're obviously they're 185 grain, and Hornady makes a really good round in my opinion. So this puppy was like, I don't know, like almost $30 for 20 rounds, and I only carry, basically it's gonna be 6. So, but that's what I'll be packing in my gun when I actually start carrying it. Can't carry it until after Christmas, because those are the rules. Big Mama said that I can't do it. Or my pretty lady, or whatever I want to call her. I gotta think of some awesome pet name that you guys can make fun of me for calling her. Well, that's the end of my story, and this is my Christmas present, and I'm super excited. If you guys have any questions, please comment down below or send me a PM. And hopefully I will get some shooting done maybe on Christmas, because I don't know about you, I really want to just let this thing fly. Hitchcock 45 has an actual really long video about this gun, and he actually gave it a really good review, and there's a lot of shooting in it. So if you're interested in watching the XDS be fired and being used and shot and whatnot, and some really good information and a very good opinion and breakdown of the gun itself, definitely check out Hitchcock 45. I'll put that video down below in the description. So, this is Trevor with High Desert Tactical with my new toy. Actually, it's not a toy, but with my new awesomeness. And let me know. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Take care, guys.